afternoon. I hope you're doing well, Miss Archana. I'm honored to welcome here Miss Archana Pandey of Vivekananda School in Gurugram, who was kind enough to spare some of her time today to attend our series and to answer some questions about what makes her such a lively character in the school principal space. So, before we go ahead, I would like to tell you about the Dynamic School series, where we interview renowned principals and school directors and owners, asking them to share their experience of running a successful leadership, their work-life balance, and their stupendous contribution towards their respective institutions they are associated with. You're here with us today because you've been a leader in the field of education and have exemplified it several times, as seen by the exceptional performance of Vivekananda School. Ms. Archana has definitely accomplished surreal objectives over the course of her career. She's fulfilled responsibilities of an HOD, an academic coordinator, an IGCSE coordinator, a vice principal, gained experience of CBSE, IB, Cambridge curriculum in some of the most prestigious schools of Gurugram, like Scottish High International School, Lotus Valley International School, Lancers International Schools, St. PBN Public School, SDAV, and etc. And she finally took over the role of a principal at GD Goenka Public School and now at the Vivekananda School, Sector 69 in Gurugram. She's a firm follower of the quote by John Quincy Adams: "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are a leader." She takes immense pride in contributing towards nation building and has been doing so for more than 2 decades. But of course, before I get ahead of myself, tell me, Miss Archana, what inspired you to become an educator?
Good afternoon, Adiba. Thank you so much, first of all, for having me here for the discussion. And coming to your question, that what inspired me, teaching has always been very close to my heart since childhood, and I have been in an environment where my father was a school and my mother was an IS aspirant. But due to certain conditions and circumstances, she could not pursue her passion. But education was always given an importance, and both my parents wanted me to be this sector so that I can bring changes whenever and whatever possible. And so that is why since childhood I used to play games like becoming a teacher and instructing little ones to do this and that. So it just grew more and more over the years, and then one fine day I decided to be a teacher where I can influence young minds and motivate them to achieve something in their lives.
Oh, wow. So you basically manifested, your occupation since you were very, very young. That's quite impressive. Okay. So I wanted to ask you something else, right? I understand that, interactions between teacher, principals, and students are one of the core fundamentals in the student's school life. How do you interact with your students and teachers effectively? How do your students interact with your teachers effectively?
Okay, in my school, we give importance to observing values of mutual respect, and special focus is communication with each other, which is extremely polite yet formal. And students and teachers share a very cordial bond with each other, where the students easily confide in their mentors. We believe that when a student understands that his teacher cares for him, he develops a lot of respect for him and then follows him blindly. And to create this bond, teachers encourage students to discuss any issue with them. And for this, we have dedicated time in the morning, which is called circle time for grades 1 and 2, and where the teachers sit in a circle with the students and become a part of them. And fusion time is observed in higher grades, where the students and teachers mutually discuss their topic of discussion. And this topic of discussion can be related to their personal lives, as if they are facing something, or there can be something, some issue like bullying or anything that hurts them or is a matter of concern for them. And two, it can be a social issue where they want to express their ideas regarding a social cause or issue, or regarding school. So anything, they're free to discuss anything with their teachers in that half an hour slot. So which gives liberty to the students to speak their heart out in front of their teachers.
Oh wow. Okay, so I like that. I like that safe space. You mentioned, bullying and people, like how that might negatively affect the students. So I know that causes a student to become a lot more introverted and a lot more shy, especially in the classroom. So how do you encourage students to engage more in classroom activities, especially for introverts or, your backbencher students?
There are all kinds of learners in a class. On one hand, some are introverts, some are extrovert. On the other hand, some are kinesthetic, auditory or visual learners as well. So to meet the requirement of all, we devise different activities. And first thing that we do is we do not label them as introverts. One of the great benefits of being a teacher in the 21st century is sheer variety of ways to engage with students, from class blogs to social media to a piece of paper also. So this means you can provide ways for introverts to shine like never before. And writing has always been an outlet for introverts in a classroom. We allow students time, we give them time to write about their thoughts before starting a class conversation. So which is known as silent dialogue or silent conversation. And this technique allows students to feel more prepared and ready for the class and to participate in that class discussion. So interactive online tools also provide another safe space to such kinds of students who do not want to open up or do not want to discuss openly with other children. And every child has at some point needs to learn how to articulate their ideas and also recognize the benefit of learning from others' perspectives. So while the exposure to potential criticism or too much attention can be intimidating for introverted students, so they might just realize the experience is not bad as expected it to be, because now they are writing their thoughts and at least sharing with the teacher. So at the end of the day, we want our students to be happy as the way they are. They should not feel bad about it. And this starts by letting them simply be who they are, attention and harnessing the right set of tools to access each child's limitless reservoir of potential.
That's really nice. I actually really like that. And I honestly wish that something like that was available for my school, I guess, when I was growing up, because I'm an extreme introvert and, like very, very shy growing up as well. So moving on from that, thank you for that. So what are the key focus areas in your institution for all of the school kids? You mentioned the introverts, so what about everyone else?
As we intend to create 21st century learners, we focus on providing experiential learning to our students, wherein students learn by doing. We also run professional speaking and reading program in the school, which is unique in itself, as it aims at improving communication skills of the learners and at the same time making them confident individuals with no stage fear and eventually independent learners and thinkers. And reading program also focuses on developing reading skills in the students through Dear Time, which is drop everything and read. So a separate slot every day is given to the learners to open up any book of their choice and read at that time. So reading passport is encouraged, where the children read a book and discuss about what they have read, about the author, about characters, about the setting, about the plot, about the climax of the book, and then they're ready to give another ending to the story also. So this is the reading passport that they make. And they also write book reviews in them as we go for movie reviews. So the book reviews are also written by the children and discussed later on. And we also award students who read maximum books in a month's time. So then after besides this, we have sports facility also, where we have international standard skating rink and basketball court. And apart from other sports facilities like cricket, football, table tennis, chess. So these all make our institution, which is ready to meet all the requirements of the students.
Really, it's really nice actually. So, like making them, preparing them for the real world. I feel like that's like the most important thing.
Yes.
Especially not something like most schools, I guess, focus on either. So I asked about I asked about the students, I asked about your students. So what are your school's core ideals and values? What are they based on?
My school is based on the ideology, believe in yourself. And when I say believe in yourself, it at once gives the ownership to the individuals to create one own self, to be responsible for whatever you do. And as I told you before, we focus on making our learners independent learners and thinkers who are confident and responsible. So it does not apply only to our students, but to our staff as well, which makes them take the responsibility of their own tasks and actions with confidence. So believing in one own self gives a lot of confidence to every individual who comes and joins with us.
So, as we're still on the topic of schools, so what makes your school, what makes Vivekananda School so unique?
Okay. Our learners make the Vivekananda School so unique. They bring joy and positive energy to all the areas of the school. They are confident, effective communicators, independent learners and thinkers, and happy. And to achieve this, we run, as I mentioned before also, that we run different programs so that they are beneficial for our learners in the long run. And one most important program, a unique program that we run is public speaking and reading program, which is run by a trained professional who comes daily and interacts with the children, and so that the children become effective communicators. They know how to face the world. They know how to face the audience. They do not have stage fear, which is the demand of present day. So that is how we make our school a unique school.
So I know you said like public speaking, right? The teacher comes in every single day. So do they come in from like a very young age? Are they teaching like very young students to like very, very like old students, like they're about to graduate school? Oh, okay. Okay.
So we have, as this is the first year of the school, we have grades from 1 to 9. So she interacts with all the grade students, and right from grade 1 to grade 9. But different levels have been devised, where in grade 1 we'll do picture composition, where it is giving in wings to their imagination, to grade 9 where we have analytical discussions, and more focus is on group discussions.
Okay, that's quite unique. That's very, very unique. I actually really, really like that. So given your years in the field, I know you've been, an educator for a very, very long time. If you could, what sort of reforms would you like to bring in the education space of India in today's time?
Actually, the Indian education system must change for the better, and it is changing. I believe that it must give the students equal opportunities to shine better in the future. And we need to let go of the old traditional ways and enhance the teaching standards so our youth can create a better world. And for this, the foremost important, which I think is very important, is experiential and project-based learning. slowly and steadily changes have been made to improve the learning outcomes. And with the onset of NEP, we are expecting that the education system is going to change 360 degrees. So I think we can start by focusing on the skill development of the students. The schools should not focus only on the ranks and grades, but also on the analytical and creative skills of the children. And in addition to this, subjects must not be merely taught theoretically, but with practical touch to it. And this will help in better understanding of the subject without them having to mug up the whole thing due to lack of practical knowledge. And of course, the syllabus must be updated with changing times and not follow the old pattern. This is what I believe in, and I want to see a reform in this area.
Yeah, I do agree with that, because I have seen, especially when students are trying to go abroad, I've seen a lot of students, they oftentimes struggle with like creativity the most, because either they have never ever done extracurriculars, or they just never have the time to, because they're so invested in shoving their heads into the books, and it's sad to tell you the truth. So I think that reform would definitely be for the better. Like, I think it's very, very much needed as well. Okay. So, I do believe that, your experience of this comes from having a background of both international as well as national curriculums. So, you've had pretty much the best of both worlds. But, in your school, what language do you encourage your students to speak?
In my school, we have 3 languages: English, Hindi, and one foreign language, which is French. But the main focus is the medium of instruction is English, the medium of communication is English. Since English is the global language, and we intend to create global citizens who are capable enough to adapt themselves in any scenario they are in. So we encourage students to speak and communicate in English language only, so that they do not find any difficulty in comprehending when they move out of the four walls of the school. And they should be capable enough to adjust in any scenario. And yes, equal importance is given to Hindi language also, which is the national language, and but more focus is on English.
So, honestly, everything you've described about your school so far seems like a blessing on earth. Given like public speaking and, being able to make your shyer students just have like a better safe space, and everyone having like their own approach to, learning and stuff, being able to do it by themselves. So I have to ask you, what do you have to say about the staff in your school? You've had so many good things to say about the school. So what about the staffs?
Yeah. The staff is in my school. If I talk about staff, they are very positive. They're happy, they are responsible, and they believe in teamwork. It's the staff only who implements the policies. It's the staff only which carries forward what you think about, what your vision is. So if it is not implemented the right way, we will never get the desired results. So the staff has to be motivated all the time. They are, and they are receptive to changes as well, and they are keen to learn, and that is what makes them perfect role models for my students. Because otherwise, if I plan something and it is not implemented in the right manner, it will lose its charm and it will lose its significance. So the staff being very positive and receptive helps me a lot in implementing what I desire.
So what about your students? What do you have to say about your students?
My students, since I told you before also that my students are the ones who are the unique factor in my school. So they are happy, very confident, effective communicators. They are creative, inquisitive, risk takers, yet balanced, and most importantly, they are innocent. And because during dispersal time in the afternoon, when I see them off for their homes, so they are always hugging, and with great warmth they say, once they ask me why Sundays, why the school is closed on Sundays, why don't you open it for us? So that's the thing, that they want to come back to school, which is a positive sign. So they're very happy and cheerful lot.
I think that's magical. Like wanting students to come back to school is quite magical. I've seen students like run away from school, not wanting to come back. So them wanting to come in at all is incredible. It's quite something, actually. So I would have to say your teachers are probably doing some kind of magic behind the scenes. Yeah. So, there's a lot of people now, they're aspiring to, go into their career fields, especially, I guess, like young people in education, right? So do you have any message that you would like to pass on from your side to the younger population of today's time?
Okay, I would like to quote Swami Vivekananda, and who said, infinite patience, infinite purity, and infinite perseverance are the secret of success in a good cause. So I would like to say that nothing can be achieved instantly. If you want to achieve and you want to go for something, so don't expect instant results for it. So a lot of patience and dedication is required to get the desired results. One should know one's passion and follow it, and keep on following it till the time you achieve it. But you need to have patience. Everything comes with right amount of patience. So time is everything, is revealed by time, but then one has to keep waiting as well.
That's very, very profound, and I thank you for that. I will be taking that advice to heart as well. Thank you. Okay. So it was very, very lovely to see you and hear from you, Miss Archana. And I would like to thank you for your valuable time and those exceptional tips and words of wisdom, which I'm sure will help other institutions as well as students in the overall development of, both their institution as well as their students, especially for a better tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me here, and for this conversation. Thank you so much.